phases in their digital asset guidelines, or they're sanctioned, or they're not allowed in other jurisdictions. So to have the ability to kind of control a lot of this from the token protocol works very well for us. It really allows us to know who our token holders are at all times, and we can create and maintain whitelists of investor addresses. And as I said before, it helps us rerunning sanction checks, and maybe we're in a spot where we're only allowing accredited investors or certain investors. This token standard, this restricted token standard that the 1404 does, it really helps us manage that. And that's why I think it's so important from a technical side. And then also, we like, there's enforced complex transfer restrictions. I mean, if we really want to dig deep down into this, because at Himalaya, we're all about first and foremost the regulatory side, and making sure that when we're entering jurisdictions, we're doing it in a compliant manner. We've been very proactive in that regard, and we still are. I would say that we have some of the most stringent and robust onboarding KYC, which is know your customer standards, as well as we do customer due diligence as well. And we can touch into that, maybe later on. But the core of launching a global product, but doing it in a regulated way, it has to start at the token, and I think we've done that. We can, even through this protocol, we can keep people in certain jurisdictions from trading the token or holding it with people in other jurisdictions, which really helps a lot, in meeting a lot of these regulatory mandates. And then, there's just some simple implementation features that, are part of this protocol. The ability to revoke and resign if necessary. We can create multiple lists for these different jurisdictions, these different places where, we're setting up shop, and, we're making the coin available, or HPAYs available as money remittance standard. So, and then I've talked to, obviously in this day and age, it's important to have control of these assets, the ability to approve or reject certain transactions. With what's happened in the industry in the last several weeks, I would say, it really demonstrates and really gives validation to our very cautious approach of protecting customer assets and making sure that we're following the proper path to globalization of our product. So I would say, how is HCN different from a lot of coins? What's what makes it the differentiator? Why have we been successful? I would go right to our token protocol, and all the things I've just talked about that I think really help. And then obviously, we're building an ecosystem, right, on the business side, and we're working with merchants, and HTO and HPAY are part of this ecosystem, and they're helping us, really gain traction with vendors. We just recently had a very large transaction done through Sotheby's for a Formula One race car that was 5 million HDO. So the exchanges and the protocols that we're using are all kind of the foundation of, who and what we are and how we plan to approach globalization of our coin and our merchant portal.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. I think you also replied our second question, which is about the difference between HCN and the other cryptocurrency. I think like quite a lot of people may notice about like the USDT crash or like even the Celsius BlackRock issue in the last few weeks. So I think that may lead to a really big effect in the whole crypto industry.
Sure. Happy to dig into what's going on in the industry and how we've managed to do so well in these trying times. So as far as UST, as a lot of Discord members probably know, that was a algorithmic stable coin. It was tied to their coin. It was highly leveraged. HTO was from the start as taking a much different approach to a stable coin. We are 100% backed by US dollars at all times. So we are audited. We are audited by PricewaterhouseCoopers and then also by Armanino. So we are working towards real-time attestation. There will be a point in H dollar future where you'll be able to see, how many coins are in circulation.
Yes.
What our banking reserves are, and everything to do with that. So from a UST, we're totally on the opposite side of the coin. And then we can get into what's called rehypothecation, right? And this is a big word that comes from finance. And what this means basically is over collateralization or people collateralizing an asset that they don't own. And that's what you're seeing with Celsius right now, is you're seeing that there's problems with staked Ether and Ethereum now, right? There's arbitrage trading with that. And what that's come from is that a lot of people were putting loans on staked Ether. And then once it moved from its peg to Ether itself, it creates problems because you have to wait for the Ethereum merge for the ability to unfreeze the staked Ether. So there's a lot of problems with that, and it was all kind of happened originally with Lehman Brothers, and hedge funds were famous for rehypothecation. So that's a traditional finance problem. It carried over, unfortunately, into crypto, and it's done quite a bit of damage up till now. But fortunately, sticking to our tried and steadied way, we're not following any of that. HDO will always be backed by a US dollar in a bank. You'll be able to see that in the daily attestation very soon. We have some of the biggest auditors in the industry that we're working with. So that all ties into, our methodology of we're not super high risk, right? We're not giving away huge staking rewards at this time. We've looked at all these things. We've looked at loans. We've looked at all these, but we've wanted to take a more cautious approach so that, after we start to have, more pairs, which are coming soon, and then we take that step where we've, kind of blending in more with the Web3 world and integrating more, then we'll start to take those steps and look at those possibilities greater. But, there's been a lot of lessons learned from some of the reasons that I've just touched on. And I think that we bode well for, how we've fared in a very trying market I think we've done very well.
Yeah, I think you have mentioned a point that like quite a lot of our users may be interested in, which is we are actually planning to have like more compare or even like more product for our surveys. I know we have collected quite a lot of questions from our users within last week. Can you please try to pick like some of them and to answer it right now?
Sure. Happy to answer any questions now. The pairs are coming soon. That's our focal point right now. I would say sometime in Q3 or Q4, we should start having the pairs in the exchange, and really looking forward to that. That's a next big step for us. We've kind of nurtured along the way here. We've made sure that we've made sound steps in a industry that is inherently insecure on both the DeFi protocol level, with phishing, with internal controls. We really have systems, policies, and procedures in place to really address all these. But it takes time. And so, as we build this solid foundation on firm regulatory ground and, with a structure built to control both external and internal integrations and systems, I think we're doing quite well. When we roll out the pairs, that will be the next step. That's coming fairly quickly. And then, we're certainly looking into listing other coins. We want to be active. We're actively looking at NFT partnerships, things that can get us into the space, as well as maybe doing things on our own greenhouse. Anything to do with the 721 protocol, which is what is the NFT token. Certainly we're interested in that. We're also looking at tokenization of private assets, commercial paper, possibly things like that. Those are all discussions that we're having. We're talking with other companies. We've always been very well funded. So even though we build a lot of our own financial products, we're constantly looking at companies to acquire to help us scale in a timely manner as well.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse. Thank you for your explanation. Besides about the compares, is there any other question that the user has right that you would like to be answered?
Sure. The Hex AP, that's going to naturally come after the crypto release. So we're looking sometime Q1 for that, from what the development teams are telling me. Also, the merchant portal, that's probably another Q3 release. Q4, we're really going to gain traction. We're involved in testing with that too. Some of the demos that are coming out of that. So that should be on pace fairly soon as well, towards the end of the year. All these projects are working in parallel. So when you look at these timelines and being nimble in the industry and all this, it really takes a lot of resources to to develop these projects, to have them tested, to get them licensed and regulated in different jurisdictions, to prevent our token from going where it's not supposed to do. There's work involved in that, and we're scaling our team very well now. We're starting to really develop productivity levels, and we're putting teams in place now that I think we're starting to gain traction. So a lot of this is going to come together really quickly, and then once the ecosystem's in place, I think that will be a phase for us because we'll start to the brand will start to be known in more jurisdictions. Our marketing efforts are going to come up, as we start to get these licensing, as we get set up from a regulatory standpoint in these different jurisdictions. I think the future looks really bright for us. Typically in times of crypto winters, right, which we are probably entering now, or maybe we're already in the midst of, building is what's really important. You get more away from the hype and from the investment size, so to say, and building comes front and center. And I think the timing is going to be great for us to release these new products, to get new people onboarded into the system, and to really start to take the lead in crypto and in commerce, peer-to-peer commerce, things that are still kind of wide open in the space. To be honest, I think we can certainly begin to gain market share as we, as these new financial products come out for.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Thank you for that elaborate response. All right. So, do you have any other things you want to share with everyone?
No, I think that, well, first of all, I want to thank everyone for being part of the community and, taking this, wonderful journey we've been on so far. I recognize some people here in the chat that were, involved early in the process. You can't really understate, what it's like to take a coin that, goes from, 10 cents to $50 and then still hold fairly well. That's 500x in for any launch is really kind of unheard of in the space. And, the constant demand we have in our product, how people have asked, how does the price, constantly stay up when everyone else is going through the winter, and how have we avoided any big loss? There's just not a lot of sellers. There's just a lot of demand for the product, and we're just getting started. So I think we can build this momentum. And a lot of that is community. Now we're at the point where we need to go out and to create these social communities in all these jurisdictions where we're starting to get traction and where we have license and regulation, and also growing our ecosystem, where we can onboard merchants and all that. So I think social media can play a big role. And I know that, people who have been involved early, they've been a great help to get us where we are. Hopefully, grow our advocacy even greater.
So I totally agree with you. Besides the Discord community and also the social media, we are trying to have more and more service that can offer to our users, and we are trying to improve us and better. So thank you everyone to join us, and thank you for trusting Himalaya Exchange. So today AMA is going to be finished. So thank you everyone for joining us, and hope you guys have a nice day. For this AMA session, we are going to upload overall like with the English version and also the Chinese version on our social media account. And so thank you for joining us today. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Thank you, Jesse. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.